Hey there everyone, and welcome back to Casually Quilled. Today we're going to start a new series going over my pens. This is my little marker holder that I use for my pens. It's a lot cheaper than some of the actual fountain pens holder. I know they're not as nice, but they work for me. So it holds a ton of pens. And I've got the three that I'm going to showcase today. I was going to start with my Banus, but due to the fact that I have one coming in the mail, I decided to hold off on those. So instead, we're going to be taking a look at my Twsbis and my Kakuno, my specialty Kakuno. So we're going to start with the two that I don't have inked up at the moment, which is my Twsbis. So I have two different Twsbis at the moment. I have a Twsbi Eco, and they do two variants of this. They do the Eco and the Eco T. The Eco T is a little bit of a different structure. Also, I apologize if my voice still sounds raspy. I'm like 2 weeks getting over a cold, and I'm still having issues, but this one is the Prussian Green. I got it from Goulet Pens right when this released. Oh my gosh, I can't even remember how long ago. It's been a while. You can see I still need to give it a really healthy, I might have to take it apart this time. I need to give it a healthy cleaning. Come on, baby, focus. It's still got some shimmer in there from when I just had Wearing Gold Dracula in it, so I need to give it a good flush, a good cleaning. One thing I want to warn with Twsbis is the feed on this is very easy to break. So you can actually see, this is one of the early pens I've got. I've had it a while. I actually did break it just a little. Let's see if we can focus on that a little more. So you can kind of see the gaps there where it's missing from trying to take it out to give it a deep clean when I first got it, before I had a good idea kind of what I was doing. So with a lot of them, you do have to be careful, but especially the Twsbis, I've noticed seem to be a little more frail in that area. These are all piston fillers. So they all twist from the back to pull up, and they tighten nice and down there. And then back the other way. I believe both my Twsbis are fines. Yes, there it is. Yep, this one is a fine. So these ones have a little bit more of a plastic body. They have a little bit of a grip section. Well, I mean, obviously they have the grip section. I mean, the shape, the Eco Tees have a little bit more of a grip here from what I've been told. I do not have an Eco Tee because I totally get these based on color. I'd like to pick up some more of these, but for the moment, that is the only one that I do have. I use this one a lot. It actually works really, really well for shimmer, especially because for fine, it's a little on the wider side. So they're very wet pens. There is a process to taking these apart to have you clean them. I have not actually done that with this yet. I need to get out my instructions and my tools and break it down and do it. I don't know if I will make that into a video or not. I know it involves unscrewing the back. I think, like I said, I haven't done it yet, so just a little bit I've seen of that. It might be a good one to do as a video. If you'd be interested in that, let me know in the comments down below. Like I said, these work really well with shimmer, or at least this one does. I use it quite a bit for that. They go for about $33, depending on if you get specialties or not. It can go up from there. Like, I know the rose golds go for a little more. The smoky ones go for a little more. I like just my fun colors, so I'll probably stick on the cheaper range of the Ecos. But the other one that I have is the 580. Oh, what is the name of this one? I do not remember the name of this blue. It was fairly new. I have only used it once so far when I first got it. I love this. I can totally tell the difference between this and the Eco. I really didn't think it would be that big. I got it because this light blue color was just so pretty. I want to say it's like a periwinkle color. I don't think that's what they called it though. The mechanism works the same. So you rotate this little guy to get it to come up, and then you rotate the piston back to go back down. Pretty typical piston filler. The rules for taking this apart, I believe, are pretty similar to the Eco. For what I know about taking apart and cleaning the Eco, I know even less about for the 580. All I've had in this so far is the Pilot Iroshizuku Hana, or no, I'm sorry, no, that's not right. I dipped this in that. The only ink I have had in this pen is the Twsbi Pink. And I actually really like Twsbi inks. I think they flow really well. I think they're really nice colors. The only one I don't really care for, I got the 6-pack, and I also have an extra of the Prairie Green because I got it to try first, is the Emerald Green. It doesn't say emerald to me, but I love the sky blue, the purple, the pink. The orange is fine. I got the tangerine because it's a little brighter, a little more vibrant, so I like it a little better. I'd like to pick up the darker green at some point, but I haven't got to that one yet. Anyway, so let's talk about this guy. So this guy is also an F. Oh, I stand totally corrected. This is an EF nib. My E was kind of hiding on there. I kind of thought it was, but I couldn't remember. So this is my EF nib. So these guys have a diamond kind of patterning to their bodies. You can see any of the little ridges or not. So it gives it a really interesting texture to hold. It kind of gives it something to grip a little bit. The grip section is, I don't know for sure if it's metal, but it feels metal. And it's slick. It's really nice to hold on to. If you like a big grip section, I don't know that you'll love that one. I have a very, very tiny grip. So for me, it's great. That's a great grip. But I could definitely see how somebody with a little bit bigger fingers finds this to be very annoying. I hold very far forward and very small. So for me, it's not a problem. But I could definitely see how those would annoy people. These do not come apart by screwing right here, which can be a little confusing if you're not used to it because it kind of looks like it should. I need to fill this one up again. I really love it. They have a higher ink capacity than most fountain pens, I would say. I don't know the exact amounts. I'm a horrible judge of that kind of stuff. Now, I have a tendency to not fill mine up very far. So like even when I fill these, I might go to right here. So I'll just fill it like that much. I really don't put much in my pens because I like to change them so frequently. But these guys have huge ink capacities. That's one of the great things about Twsbi. And I know for a while, well, I shouldn't say for a while. I know that people were having some cracking issues with Twsbis and stuff. I don't know if that had something to do with the mechanism cracking, or I think it might have been up here in the grip section. I don't really know, and I don't know if it was from too hard. I know some people get it, some people don't. I don't know how much of a thing that still is, if they've got the cracking figured out, if it still has a lot of cracking. And I don't know if that was only for the Ecos. I've never really seen it as a comment against like the Diamond 580s or the vacuum fillers. But I do know if you're interested in that, you might need to do some looking because I do know that was a problem for a while and people made a lot of comments. Both of mine have worked amazingly. I don't see anything wrong with mine in that sense, other than some water spots, which just comes from the area I live in. We have really hard water here, but that's it. I don't have any cracking. I haven't seen any signs from any of the ones I've been around, but that is a thing to keep in mind when you're thinking about Twsbis. If you're concerned about that, I would do some looking, and if you're worried about it, maybe don't get these ones. But I think for the price points, these are really great pens, especially if you want one that lasts a long time for ink, because it just holds so much. So I do intend to get more Twsbis. These are just the two that I currently have. This one I picked up for, I think I got it for $65, maybe $66, which I believe is pretty typical for these. Again, they have specialty versions that can go up to like $100. It just kind of depends. The other thing that's really nice, and I would assume that the Eco has this as well, you just can't, yeah, it looks like it maybe does. You just can't see it as well. But with the 580, you can see that it's got this extra almost like cap in here, and that helps keep it from drying out. I do not have any issues with these drying out. Even when I put my Wearing Gold Dracula in the other one, I had no issues. I could leave it for, oh my gosh, I think I actually left it for close to a month and still picked it up and had pretty much no issue with dry out. Like, it was, these things hold ink for days. Like, they're so nice. Twsbis are such a great one to pick up, I think. But yeah, so those are my two Twsbis. I thought they were good ones to start with. A lot of people know Twsbi. They're very good staples. Can be very cheap ones to pick up. I would like to try one of the Goes, one of the Swipes. See how I like those ones. But those are the only two that I have at this point in time. Now, my next one is one of the very, very first fountain pens I bought, and was probably one of the first ones I used outside of one of the disposable ones first to make sure that I liked writing with it, and then I bought this one. So most Kakunos go for, depending on where you get them, I get them off Amazon, so they're usually about $12 to $16. The new ones I know have been going for around $23. I would like to pick up one of those. I just haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. But this one I actually paid like $35 for, just because of the cat. So this is my limited edition like Pikachu Kakuno. And yes, I spent that purely for the cat, because I love it and it's adorable and I love that blue. So Kakunos are kind of designed as a children's learning fountain pen, was their original kind of idea. So they have a more kind of triangular shape to help teach you how to grip the pen. And they also have these really cute little faces. Let me see if I can get him to focus there. Here we go. So as you can see, this guy is an F. I do not believe that they do Kakunos very often in an EF. I'm very rare to see it. But I really like the Kakuno, because I do think it does good to help teach you how to hold it. They're cheap. They are just a simple plastic. They do not come with a converter. I bought this individually. You can put cartridges in here. As we've learned, I don't really use cartridges much, and it has been long enough. I will have to check if they are proprietary or not. I cannot remember. So besides them being just really easy to use, I actually just had a shimmer ink in here, and using a little bit of Dawn, it flowed really well through it. The problem that I have with Kakunos is because they have these air holes, both there and on the bottom, they dry out really, really fast. Like, I put my shimmer ink in here and I had it filled probably halfway up the converter, and within 2 days, I used it some, but within 2 days, I was completely out of ink. It does hold quite a bit in the feed, so I still got quite a bit of writing out of it, even though I was out in the converter. But let's take a peek at where I'm at. So I filled this up 2 days ago, and I did actually fill this up all the way. This time I have just a standard ink in here. The ink that I put in here is the Van Diemen's Prickly Pear. It was a 10th anniversary for Pen Chalet. An exclusive for them. So I put that in 2 days ago. I did fill it up all the way. And yeah, I would say I'm probably about half down on that. It's sitting about right here. So that is my only gripe using Kakunos, but they post really well. Oh, it's one thing I should add. You should not post Twsbis. So if you like to post, that's going to be a no-go for you because of the piston. It gets caught on here, and it can, you can screw ink out, which will make a mess, and it's just really hard to get off. So don't post your Twsbis. But these guys post really well. And I love using Twsbis. So this has just been my little scribble pad at the moment. You can see I just filled my Esterbrook back up with purple. Pilot Iroshizuku. Oh, I can never remember the name of that ink. I'd have to check. But so this guy, let's see. Quick brown fox jumps over that was a horrible Z. Oh well, it's fine. The lazy dog. So as you can see, these guys flow just, oh my gosh, so well. They're so easy to use. I love the little bit of scratchy texture. They write almost a bit more like an extra fine than a fine. I am not an artist, or I would do you a little scribble. So no doodling for me, but yeah, I really love this pen. That ink looks very, very brown on this paper, but it is actually very pink, kind of reddish. But oh my gosh, yeah, I use this pen frequently. I go back to it all the time, even though it's a really cheap one. I just enjoy it. It's just nice to hold, nice to write with. It flows so well. I love the way it grips the paper, the texture. I love to use this one. It's just easy. It's cute. It's not one, if something happens to it, I'd be kind of sad, but it's not the end of the world. Even if this is like in good condition, if I were to break the pen, I'd probably just get a different Kakuno and put the cap on it. But yeah, these are just, oh, These are a great starter pen. I'm going to recommend it to anybody for that reason. All three of these. The 580 is very expensive for a starting point, but they're pretty kind of middle of the road nice pen is kind of how I would call it. So if you wanted to step up and get something a little nicer, but you know, you don't want to jump to the $200, even $100 mark, I think these guys are great. I mean, I can tell a huge difference between this and the Eco. These are just such a nice pen, and it's so much heavier too. Like, there is a huge difference in the materials used between the two of these. It's just, oh, this is such a nice pen. But in terms of really good starter pens, either of these, this one is obviously more expensive for a starter pen than just the Kakuno is, and you do have to buy the converter, which usually is around $6, give or take a little bit where you buy it. I know a lot of people can complain about this converter. I like that it's got little agitator beads in there. I don't know if you can really hear them much, but both of these as starter pens, like I said, even though this is pricier, because it holds so much more ink, it's really nice. It's got a little bit of that grip section, but not quite the same. I think the T has more of that shape that the Kakuno has to help kind of teach you how to grip it. And that's just such a nice, I know the idea is those are kind of for kids in Japan and stuff, but especially for anybody just learning, it's so nice. Like, it's just a nice feature to have. But yeah, so those are my 3 spotlight pens for today. If you liked my video, go ahead and like and subscribe. I've got a couple things in the mail, so I'll probably have a new pen video soon, as well as another one of these going over some different pens that I have. So if anybody has any questions or comments, things they'd like to see, go ahead and put it down in the comments below, and I will see you next time.